Hi everyone, Elizabeth here. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about using discernment when kind of navigating through modern spirituality. In addition to just brief thoughts about Mind Valley, which I now call Valley of the Shadows, and just understanding that spiritual hacks are kind of satanic in general. When we're looking at people who use the word like hack your spirituality or spiritual hacks, there are many different ways or reasons that people use that term. However, you do have to use discernment when it comes to mainstream companies or popular famous people like Deepak Chopra or Mind Valley who are trying to push a product because a hack is the quick, easy weight loss pill that does not want you to do the work, to overcome your shadow, to look in the mirror and admit your faults and weaknesses. I do believe that abundance and manifestation and these things do come with time. My personal life and in my personal life experience, I have noticed that certain abundance things have come into my life when my soul has gone through various steps or graduation points in life. And a lot of it had nothing to do with sitting down and meditating every day for 30 minutes for 30 days to get rich or anything like that. And I'm not rich, but you know, everybody has their different thoughts of what abundance is. So when I was younger and really diving deep into spirituality, I was into a company called Mind Valley, which has that Vishen, I can't remember his last name, like Lakshmi or Lakshmi. And when I studied Reiki, I ended up not really following. I fell out from Mind Valley because something just felt a little bit off with them. In Reiki, they tell you do not expose the Reiki symbols. And so when he had one of these online Reiki courses back in 2013, part of the promotion used the Reiki symbols at the start, which to me kind of it kind of devalued the sacredness of Reiki because I saw what the West did to yoga. And kind of, especially when hot yoga came out, it just used yoga as like a sexual hot tool. Like, look how good I look in these tiny little shorts, and completely disconnected everything from the sacredness or spiritual component, what I learned in India. So over the Christmas holiday time, I just somehow randomly saw an Instagram post from Vishen. And I immediately knew after reading that post that he 100%, I believe, is probably part of like the NWO or just in general not part of the positive side of spirituality. You have to understand, he was a former tech person, and I do empathize and sympathize with him how he got fired from various tech jobs and ended up finding his love and passion for spirituality. However, a lot of the programs that he promotes is absolute bullshit. It's the weight loss pill to hack into your mind. It's not confronting the dark side of you or your moon sign, looking at your moon sign and how you process your emotions and not doing the work. It's the easy way out. It's like hacking a computer or hacking a program. It's nothing in spirituality is a quick fix. There sometimes are these quick fix detours that just somehow happen. But for the most part, spirituality, when it's just doing nothing but promoting fluff and the good stuff, you have to, have your radars up, especially like Deepak Chopra. When you start to look at Gratitude America, where he got money. So Jeffrey Epstein donated money to this Gratitude America foundation, and that foundation gave money to the Deepak Chopra club or foundation or whatever the hell he's called, corporation. So in the winter time, Vishen, I guess, is in, Estonia now, and he was doing a party, and I was reading the comments, and it's like, well, how do you have a safe and effective party during a pandemic? And he's like, well, you require everybody to get vaccinated. And right then and there, I knew it. I knew something was always off with them. I stopped following them back in 2013. I don't even know how the hell this post popped up on Instagram. Maybe it was sponsored, but it just sat so, it was so discomforting for me, for somebody who runs a global spirituality company that didn't even give their fucking employees a choice. Like, that to me just blows my mind. So So he was saying it was safe and effective. However, if you are a science person, if you are a spiritual person, you have to look at the science that there has been a massive part of our population, young and old, who have not done well from this. They have died, they have gotten blood clots, they have gotten cancer, reverse, or just any form of side effect that is not normal. So if you believe in science, you have to look at that science. You cannot say it doesn't exist or it's fake, or just because it's 1% of the population that it doesn't matter. It matters because it's happening to everybody around the globe. So for me, you know, this one woman was like, should I cancel my $500 membership? I'm like, yes, because they are the Valley of the Shadows. They are not Mind Valley. They are not there to help you improve. They're there to make cash. They are there to keep you in the loop. We've talked about this in other videos. This is why I'm very discerning on people like Russell Brand, because you cannot get into that club. You cannot get to his status unless you are part of that club, okay? You cannot get out. The only way you get out is by suicide or murder or, you know, God knows what else. Maybe you run off the grid, something like that. So there are degrees of truth into these communities. However, it's not the full 100% truth. So anything mainstream, you have to use a lot of discernment, especially if they're 100% advocates on what the fuck has been going on through this pharmaceutical nightmare that we've been going through. And somebody like Vishen, I would love to have just a face-to-face conversation or a Zoom conversation with that person and really just ask him face-to-face, eye-to-eye, if he's actually 100% authentic. Absolutely no tech background, funding or anything. You know, he has worked a lot with the tech world. So you have to understand, is he part of a shapeshifter that is for the positive betterment of the new earth, or is he more that NWO? I know he was a big advocate for changing a lot of our collegiate experiences, which just really kept us into a loop of working. You know, it's kind of like part of college. It was meant that you didn't have to work. You just studied for 4 years and kind of found yourself all while, you know, educating and advancing your intellectual stimulus. Now students are just working full-time, trying to get an education. They're extremely stressed out. And I know this because I teach a community college class and I hear it every single quarter. The anxiety and the depression that runs with these kids is extremely, it's a lot worse now than it was even when I was in college back in 2003 to 2008. So you have to use, like I said, discernment and really understand that if these mainstream global companies are trying to promote a weight loss pill formula for spirituality or use God as a genie in a bottle, like you do this 30-day program and you will manifest abundance, that is demonic and satanic in general. Because you do not use spirituality or you do not have a connection with God just for a transaction of getting something on this earth plane. It has to come from an authentic place. And that authenticity and that spiritual growth, once you go through these steps of graduation, from my own life experience, I've seen this, once you graduate, things tend to start to work out a little bit more in your life. Most people, you know, most people are so miserable on this earth plane and they don't want to look at their own shadow. This is why they hide behind the television and junk food. And, you know, they believe in celebrities because they can't even face themselves. They can't even face the miserable environment that they live in. Look at America. I go into estate sales all the time. We have become hoarders. We are not a country of lack. We are a country of waste. We do not become hoarders if we do not have something going on that is lacking on a mental, emotional, or spiritual level. We do not have hoarders if we, you know, like shopping has been a massive coping mechanism. And I empathize with a lot of baby boomers and greatest generation women because they kind of did nothing. They had no identity. They were just either a housewife or a mom. And I'm not saying you have to have a job and a career to have an identity, but there was something that was disconnected through that era. And a lot of them just found happiness or escapism through shopping. So I just genuinely